Hey guys, this is Fight Mike here, back with another video. Today we're just going to be discussing the Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen matchup that could be made after the UFC 316 card. I've seen so many people online making Merab out to be some unbeatable guy that's going to 50-45 everyone or finish Corey, and saying that Corey has literally no chance, that this is a pointless fight to make. But I just wanted to make a video saying that this is a much closer fight than the fans think. There's some certain attributes that Corey has that makes this a much more interesting fight than the last few that Merab has had. And I'll jump straight into it. I think that Corey presents a very different striking problem to a lot of Merab's opponents. He has a lot more frontal weapons. Like, his front kicks are really good and he will constantly use them against a guy like Merab. He throws a lot more straight shots, a lot more 1-2s, and a lot more naked jabs. A lot of jabs that aren't meant to set, that are, sorry, meant to set something up, and not just not having like a 1-2, having something always following the jab like Sean O'Malley does. He likes to fire the jab and follow it straight up with a 2 straight after. Whereas Sandhagen's more than happy to damage your face up with a jab, sort of like a Volkanovski, where he'll keep touching you with it, setting up his other shots, and just making sure it's filling up the distance and filling up the time between big exchanges. I think Sandhagen's much more likely to fill in that time with straight shots, pitter patter shots, staying out of danger, not committing with his 2. He'll keep it sort of jab to the body and keep the range away to fill in that distance. Whereas you could see O'Malley was really trying to hurt him in the middle of that distance. And someone like Peter Yan, he was looking to hurt him, but he's also looking to download information, figure out where the holes in the armor of a Merab are. And even though it's somewhat stupid to think that the flying knee will land, it is something that Merab will have to think about that none of these other opponents really give him. If you remember the Song Yadong fight that Corey Sandhagen fought, there was literally like 15 flying knees within that fight. And even though he doesn't throw it as much anymore, I think Merab will still know that it's in his arsenal. And no one else has had these weapons that can catch Merab whilst he's shooting, whereas Sandhagen is definitely going to be catching him whilst he's shooting. And this might be able to make Merab actually second guess crashing in. He always crashes in with no like time before it. There's no like second guessing before he leaps in for the takedown or leaps in to fake a single leg and come over with the overhand right. If he's got that thought in the back of his head that, oh, Sandhagen might throw that flying knee whilst I crash in right now, he might not do it as often. Another reason why I think this will be a tougher fight is that Corey's natural style and natural like abilities that he has will be difficult for Merab to overcome. He's unlike Sean; he's not got that one-shot KO power, so he's not sitting down on his shots and planting, looking to KO you with them. He's still sitting down on his shots a lot more now that he's working with Trevor Whitman, but he's not looking to kill you with him. He's looking to touch you with him still. He's still not looking to separate you with every shot. He's not throwing everything into the shots. And when he misses, he's not missing big. He doesn't throw his punches aiming to overthrow. He doesn't overthrow very much at all, actually. Another thing with Sandhagen is that he's known to have really good cardio across 5 rounds, especially, and he does usually win those later rounds. I don't know if you remember the Peter Yan fight. In that 5th round, he was still pushing the pace, even after getting hurt really badly in the 3rd. Still, he was able to recover over the 4th and make the 5th round a really close round. And he even took a spinning wheel kick from Peter Yan in the 5th. And the thing is a lot of people have really good cardio, like how Peter Yan has really good cardio. Henry Cejudo has really good cardio, and they still got tired out by Merab. But the one difference is that both of these guys, they aren't as like they aren't as active with their striking as Corey Sandhagen. They're not going to hit you in between the times of the big exchanges. They're kind of just trying to win those big exchanges. Whereas Corey's going to tag you up. He's going to try beat you up. He's going to try mark your face. He's going to cut you. And I think that that's going to bode well for him in this fight. Another reason this seems like a silly reason is that he fought a hard stylistic nightmare of Umar Nurmagomedov. I know he lost to Umar and he lost quite dominantly, but he seemed to have a really good read on what he did wrong in that fight. Like, he said that during the fight he wasn't throwing enough whilst planted on the ground. He was doing a lot more lateral and backwards movement, which we saw Sean O'Malley do against Merab in this second fight, that he didn't do as much in the first. In the first, he was doing a lot more pressing Merab. And staying in a stance a little bit more, being a bit more bladed. Whereas this fight, he was on the back foot, he was upright, he was a lot more upright, and I think that Corey knew that that was his error that he made against Umar, and he's even said that. And he did say that this affected his cardio in the fourth and fifth, just because he was doing so much backwards and lateral movement that he wasn't able to throw those finishing shots in the fourth and fifth. And even then, I thought he looked really good in those rounds. He still was very energized, and he didn't look gassed completely. So for him to have said that his energy was completely sapped in those fourth and fifth, I would like to see what it would look like if it wasn't, especially against grapplers, because all grapplers, even Merab, they still slow down a little bit in those fourth and fifth. So if he's able to manage his energy and try to not use as much energy as he did against Umar trying to get away from him, he may be able to have more cardio in those fourth and fifth rounds and maybe be able to win those rounds. He said he should have stood his base a lot more and uncorked his shots whilst being planted and bladed in his stance, not being moving backwards whilst throwing. And he said that if he could do that, he would have the stamina to hit a little bit harder. And he was also very scared of getting taken down, which he admitted that was a mistake he shouldn't have made. He's got good get up ability. He's got really good scrambles, and he's good at making it out of these dominant positions. And he said that he should have realized that in that first fight, it wasn't about getting out of those dominant positions. It was about getting damage off when he wasn't in those dominant positions. So I think that he will focus on that a little bit more, and I think that that's an important mindset that you got to have against Merab because he's still human. He can still get damaged by these guys. Moving on, we've got the Figgy performance, which I think really does show another thing, another wrinkle in his game that may be able to affect Merab's cardio and affect his just outlook on the fight. He showed a really good, not even just in the Figgy performance, but in general, he showed a really good leg lock and bottom game in that Figgy performance and also in the TJ Dillashaw performance. He's always known the 50-50s in the leg lock game. He knows how to keep himself safe. And I also think working with Ryan Hall, he's going to be a lot more confident to try these submissions off the bottom. We've not really seen anyone even attempt these submissions. They usually just try to get up. Whereas I think being able to at least threaten with these submissions may get Merab to at least bail on some of these takedowns. Another thing with Corey is that he heavily Granby rolls, even though it didn't work a lot against Umar. And he did scramble a lot against Umar, which didn't work. I think Umar is a lot more of a positionally dominant grappler than Merab, which I don't know if that makes a lot of sense because Merab was able to outposition Umar. But I think against a guy like Sandhagen, I think that he will be able to make the space on a guy like Merab with his submission attempts and with his Granby rolls and his elbows off bottom, his bottom game, his leg locks. Like, I think all of this will bode to him having a better time on bottom than a lot of these guys. And we all thought that Umar was going to be the most difficult guy on bottom to verse Merab in the wrestling, but it could be Corey because he's got this bottom game, he's got this difficult submission game that we haven't seen from any of Merab's opponents as of so far. All in all, I do still think Merab's going to win it. This wasn't a video of me saying, hey, this is Corey's going to win. I might switch the pick closer to the fight depending on what's happened around it, but I think a couple of reasons why Merab still probably will win this one is that Corey has a similar stature to Sean. As you can see in the top left, he was able to lift Sean quite easily just because of the length on him. He doesn't have the same one-shot KO power that Sean has. And he's not often, but he's been out grappled by Umar, and he often drops the biggest fights. So I just wanted to throw in a couple of reasons why Merab still could definitely take the cake in this one, but it's definitely a close fight. I think that this is the hardest stylistic matchup at the moment for a guy like Merab Dvalishvili. So let me know what you think about the matchup below. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment on this. Let me know if there's any other videos that you wanted me to make this week. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.